But what's more interesting is how is this draft going to play out? Who are we prioritizing? MKOI still on the blue side. They did fantastically with it when it came to game 2. They've got some momentum, but Fnatic can take it back.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that Fnatic are going to be actually banning out the Varus. I was thinking maybe they'd leave that Varus open and we'd be able to get that prio pick.
But let's get into the changes here. Like, there's a Lucian ban coming through. That used to be a Poppy ban instead. Kalista is still going into it as well. So something's definitely changing. Beforehand as well, it was Varus and Yone. Well, in the first game, that later became that Gwen. Now Aurora is getting banned.
Yeah, this is very interesting. The Lucian ban, we haven't actually seen it yet much, but it's been popping up in scrims I hear, and it's like either the Lucian Braum or the Lucian Nami, Lucian Milio.
Nami!
Yeah, you miss it?
My favorite champion of all time.
Well,
Really?
it is one of those things where enchanters will start coming through because they're pretty much all out of the engaged champions here, except Elyoya, as we mentioned earlier. So there are trickier combinations that can come through. Lucian Nami or Seri Lulu.
But Jack, Lucian Nami in EU, endlessly memes.
Well, it's banned anyways.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
It's all good. I think maybe like Sivir Lulu, Seri Lulu could be something to look for. Although there is still like, for me, I think both of these teams really prefer their support on engage and to be that playmaker.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's big champion available here, 5, right? That's been the big one between Elyoya and Razork.
Banned out here on 3.
Oh, it's available.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a trap for the Vi, or are you just opening up and saying as Elyoya, yeah, I'll take that right now, thank you.
And the Pantheon is out as well, right? We saw G2 play well into Razork's Vi. Ooh, and the Gwen.
Yep.
Forgot about that one. The Jax is still open, but it's Myrwn Gwen is his best champion. And we'll see. Oh, wow, they're ready with this Jayce counter pick here. Jayce Vi. Not the most synergy on the two, but...
Not at all. But it needs to be redemption as well for Myrwn. He just played this Gwen against Vitality.
True.
And he actually didn't do too good on it.
That
and
was
as you said, Jack,
Jayce.
yes,
No?
exactly.
Yep.
And as you say yourself, Jack, like, it is one of his best champions, career-wise.
Yep.
But he's got something to prove now.
You know, when we scrimmed with Myrwn, it would always be the meme of one daily free win Gwen. Because whenever he would look, it would be a free win.
Oh, now you only get one as well here.
Yeah, true. But it's going to be the Skarner here. At very low priority these days. It's got numerous nerfs. It actually has the lowest win rate and lowest pick rate in solo queue.
And is it deserved?
Well, the champion's been pretty OP and pro
pretty
for
boring.
quite a while.
But
Kind of boring.
is he nerfed into the ground?
I think he's pretty weak. He still retains a decent strength in pro play, I'd say, just because of the ulti, the terrain crossing.
But what are we picking with Vi here as well? Because Talia is not here.
Okay, but what is this Neeko? Where is this Neeko going?
I mean,
is that support? Is that mid? Is that a blind pick mid Neeko?
Well, we call it a flex pick, so he could go
well,
both.
yeah, but it's so random. This is I'm very surprised here.
Oh, Viktor is still open.
I really like the Viktor for Humanoid, though. I think it should do great into the Neeko on mid. And the Neeko pictures actually threw me off guard.
Wait, but isn't this just going to support the Neeko?
I don't think so. I'm assuming maybe Jojo picked it because he's kind of running out of champs.
But Fnatic don't think so. They're going through with some of the bans now. Aurelion Soul, which was usually Humanoid's own response into this.
But the Neeko blind pick support is just, unless you have a really good ADC pairing, I don't really see it.
No,
but
it was dumb of me to say, right?
No, they're banning mid laners, so Fnatic agree with you.
Oh, see? Okay, we're also dumb. They are as dumb as me.
I'm dumb.
So Leona ban is coming through. So that's one of the last engaged supports. We still have the likes of, well, if you want to play a Mumu and things like that too.
A Mumu, Camille, Pyke, if you want to really crazy.
Now we're getting goofy.
Yeah,
this
is
is
also the Fiddlestick support that you talked about. There's definitely a lot of crazy picks for the side of Fnatic.
Mr. Useful as well.
Yeah, so the Jhin would pair up nicely with the Neeko. And you do, so the biggest thing that you really, really want for the side of MKOI is some heavy AD damage. Because if this Neeko goes mid lane, Skarner is not that much physical damage, and the Neeko and the Gwen's all magic, right? What's Xayah pick here?
What do we think?
I don't know. It's good into the Gwen, Skarner, and decent into the Neeko as well. It's pretty solid, actually.
Oh, they're staying flexing, perhaps.
I mean, the thing is, the Neeko support does have a very good lane into the Xayah, but if you can't pair it with a poking ADC, then the poke doesn't really stick that well.
I was going to say as well, what ADC that's available right now? Are you happy picking into what you see here? You could do Sivir into Vi?
Ashe maybe, but Ashe is
banned?
Oh, Ashe is banned? Yeah, actually. Yeah. and Caitlyn was banned by MKOI. It's a toughie.
Interesting.
I do think though when you look to Tristana, you really want the more engage-heavy support. They could still choose to opt for the Neeko, just with her ult.
He has a smurf.
Give me the Sylas.
Alvaro has a smurf.
No way, they're picking Zed.
What is it about?
I mean, he's hovering Zed.
I know, but hovers, and I think we're on a little delay. Oh!
Sylas. It is a lot of magic damage for the side of MKOI. He does have... Does he even have good ult? He doesn't have good ult. It's a Vile.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. It's a bit puzzling, this one. I mean, Viktor ult is not bad, but Xayah and Jayce ult are definitely some of the weakest.
You also don't get the upgrade on the ultimate, I think, when you're playing Sylas and steal the Viktor ultimate, so...
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's going to be Renata last pick for Fnatic. I do think I prefer their comp a whole lot.
Why? Because of the Renata?
I think just their champs make a lot more sense together. I do think they're a little bit low on the engage side with only the Vi going in.
Yeah.
But I think what MKOI is drafted is just really weird.
Yeah.
Triple AP with a Sylas without really good ultimates.
They love
and this
some...
Renata, when all of MKOI are going in, is going to wreak havoc.
They love some messy damage profiles. Doesn't make any sense.
But Supa against Renata now. Now he can dodge the handshake.
That's true. Wait, what?
What?
Handshake? Mikyx?
Okay.
You get it? It's a bit far-fetched, but no, it's a bit...
Yeah, that took me a bit.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
Don't try to joke anymore. It's all right.
It was a good joke.
It was a good one, it's just our bad.
It's true, it's true. We didn't get it. So here we go then. If we prefer...
Which draft do you prefer, Shox?
I think also the Fnatic, because it does make a little bit more sense, and I feel like maybe they mind game themselves too much, and maybe the Jojopyun champion pool kind of stirred them in a certain direction. Sure. I don't know.
I think that's very fair. And we were saying before, like, this is where you can get a bit lost in the sauce. Game 3, lots of OPs out. So yeah.
Lost in the sauce, lost in the mayonesa, perhaps. We don't know. Let's kick it over to our casters in beautiful Berlino.
Of all the good sauces Shox could pick, she went with mayonnaise, I assume. I don't speak Spanish that well. Donde está la biblioteca?
I'm pretty sure mayonnaise is actually just chipotle sauce.
You think it's chipotle sauce? Oh, really? You don't think it's mayonnaise?
No.
Okay.
No, something says to me that's not. Like, I don't think I've ever heard Shox say the words, I love mayonnaise. So I think
That's
that's
true,
why.
actually. She is a well-known mayonnaise hater.
Yeah, regularly. Fries as well, which is weird when you think Belgian person.
Yeah, but she likes apples, pommes.
Oh,
Right, so,
that
yeah.
makes sense,
That does make a lot of sense as we get into Game 3 of this MKOI Fnatic series. Only bangers all the time in Madrid, it seems. This game, a bit more conventional in terms of drafting. I haven't seen a Tristana AD carry in a hot minute, but does still do a huge amount of work. Has a lot of damage. Was nerfed slightly on this patch, actually, because of how much damage she was putting out. We had a little debate during draft, and you seem to come down on the side of liking MKOI's draft.
Yeah, I think you've got... I think the Sylas actually does have a lot of options here, even if they are not damage options. Like, being able to steal the Vial to guarantee an engage is really nice, because I think it kind of sets you up well. Being able to steal the Renata ult as well for when the Vi goes in gives you options in that regard. And even then, if you do want DPS, stealing away Humanoid's ultimate is going to be super nice for fights. It's also then, I think, when you try and look at how a fight kicks off, I think Alvaro has nice non-committal engage. You can just fish for some of the lockdowns, especially on a shorter range AD carry like Upset or even Mikyx popping forward. And then whenever you go in as Fnatic, I think you have so many ways of buying space to deal with Razork in a fight. Like, Elyoya walks forward, he can go for the Impale. Alvaro can go forward, he can go up and open up with the Pop Blossom to buy space. So I think it gets very difficult for Fnatic to try and play through the fight. And I think, like, yes, they do have some range advantage in Oscarinin and Humanoid, but I don't think it's enough of a range advantage to just deny everything that MKOI want to bring to the table.
It makes sense. We'll see how the drafts play up into each other as the game goes on. Myrwn going in here. Okay, well, Myrwn is dead. That did not go too well for Myrwn.
Yeah. And that's not going to go too well to the game in general, I will point out, for MKOI, because ideally, you want to be able to survive the early stages.
Supa going in.
Okay.
Dodging away from the handshake, puts the explosive charge down, does get rooted, the cleanses! Flash forward from Mikyx. He thought perhaps these couple of auto attacks would be enough. Flash as well from Upset, but he was rooted up and immediately had to cleanse away. Great root from Alvaro to help his AD carry escape.
Alvaro has a flash Q. Upset, how dangerous are you willing to play this? I think he knows you're not Tristana, Alvaro, but still okay. So everything burnt on the bottom side, apart from Alvaro's flash, which suddenly means the junglers will probably want to walk down, but I think there's a gank happening top first.
That there is. Myrwn pops the ghost and walks right out of there. The wave not in a good spot for him at all. Oscarinin using that vision as well to keep Myrwn as far away from these minions dying as possible. Humanoid and Jojo in the mid lane, both relatively low. Jojo running the door and shield will have a little bit more health regeneration. Kind of need to into the Viktor as the Siphon power comes out. Both of them pretty low on mana as well. Elyoya is coming around the side here, but is spotted on a wall.
Does he want to just come over the wall, though? We'll end up spotting the buys there, and he might just try. You're going to respect it and back away.
I think that was the correct choice.
Yes.
From both of them. Myrwn here, being traded on by Oscarinin again. Oscar only has an extra tier. Doesn't actually have much fighting power gained from that first blood, but obviously getting the tier stacking up as soon as possible is great. TP coming out as Jojo is looking for blood. Oscar still has his flash. Jojo. Okay, so where we are. Abscond, flash. Flash away from Oscar, abduct. Jojo misses, and now doesn't have a flash of his own. Razork's on his way across. Last time we saw Fnatic fight a 2v2 on the top side, it didn't end up well for them. But Razork chases forward, and down goes Myrwn. Jojo absconds and abducts a minion. And that's not what you want. 3-0 Fnatic.
Top lane is hemorrhaging gold for Movistar KOI, and Fnatic are happy to pick up the pieces. 2 kills now to Razork, and Oscarinin getting off to a phenomenal start. Like, look at the amount of CS Myrwn's about to lose.
Where were you when MKOI was killed? I was here in Berlin watching on the screen. But what an awful start for MKOI. It's 1,300 gold lead already. All of that situated on that top side of the map for Fnatic. Obviously, MKOI can still get back into this game, but it is a long, long road back. When your Gwen falls behind in a matchup where she is outranged, it is so tricky to get back into the game.
Yeah, and it's the very quick double longswords now going to provide a ton of push power for when you get on towards the tower. Start to look at even more plates that can go Oscarin's way. This matchup just becomes very, very snowbally. And even when you look at the little ward as well. Oh, well, never mind. That was just there. I was also giving a lot of information to Oscarinin about how aggressive he can go. And the fact that now the camps are respawn on the top side. So as Dragon goes down, I imagine Oscarinin basically going to try and hold this wave in position so then he doesn't end up overextending on the top side, or actually it looks like it's already pushing. I know, Will's looking for the freeze, but yeah, basically just saying, okay, if Elyoya is going to be top side, I'm going to make sure I'm nowhere near Myrwn's tower. I'm just going to freeze the wave in a position that works for me.
Both of them will get some cookies up there. Arcane Storm used on Jojopyun as Humanoid looks to chase him down. Jojo without flash, remember. Mikyx coming in from the side as well. Elyoya uses the upheaval to force Humanoid back. Grubs on the menu here for Fnatic. It's not the most delicious dish, but it does help you out, especially when your Jayce is ahead in terms of getting that pushing power. In fact, both games in this series, we've seen the team with 6 grubs win.
Which is an anomaly. Which is because when you actually look at the stats, the people that get 6 grubs tend to lose. For some reason, 5 grubs tends to be the special number.
5 grubs is better than 6 grubs on average.
Yeah. But the dragon stacking at least still helping out.
5 grubs a possibility for Fnatic.
Playing the numbers, I like it, Fnatic. I like it.
Definitely nothing to do with the fact that Elyoya was there with Impale. And
nah, the number game.
Number game makes sense. As Razork was forced away, he's going to come around and farm up his camps. 15 CS lead for Oscar in the top lane. Bot lane even. 0 gold difference between the 2 AD carries, and then Supa goes and ruins it all by farming up another minion or 3. Humanoid's in an okay spot in mid as well, as Jojo has gone back and got himself a Dark Seal, 2 Ruby Crystals, and some boots.
That are made for walking.
That's just what they'll do. Jojo will walk all over. I was going to look for a fun, I couldn't think of a good rhyme for you. I had glue in my head. That doesn't really work, because he's walking all over the lane to the mid lane.
Yeah. The blue side of the map?
Walk towards, walk all over from blue.
Yeah, there we go.
Got there in the end. If only Dracos was here, he'd be like that.
I know. But we're stuck with us. We're slowly losing our minds over the course of these 6 games.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's going well.
It does remind me of being back at the LPL
Yeah.
a little bit, where it's just like you just have these mega long days, and it's just like is it as bad? I don't know if people remember Lyric losing his mind in Game 9, where against TT, where he thought the game was going to end.
And then it doesn't end, and he just absolutely goes off for one. Was it TT that he went
It was
off?
supposed to end. It's one of my favorite casting clips from Lyric ever. I miss that man. He's a good lad.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad. All right, so on the Rift at the moment, much ado about nothing. Both Fnatic lanes are just going to get pushed in, top and bot. Humanoid is pushed through mid, or is holding mid as well, as Jojo is here to try and get that underneath the tower for himself. With no neutrals up, expectations are that we'll just keep playing through this sort of lane state for the next little while.
Yeah, Mickey is roaming up, but it's only kind of to match Alvaro and Elyoya, who are on that top side of the map, and we're kind of seeing the back to basics of, hey, if the matchup swaps, let's swap. So Supa in that top side, and they're going to send Jayce down to the bottom side for Oscarinin. But it does mean, I think, should be able to catch this wave relatively easy. And it's kind of just 3-man. See what we can fish for in the mid lane and hope for the best.
Tangle Barbs coming out from Alvaro as Oscarinin forces Myrwn back again. Myrwn only losing 1 minion out of this wave if he can't get that singular one, so he'll be okay with that. It's kind of his job right now is just to find as much out of every wave as possible while not dying. Right, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much he wanted to chase on towards Myrwn there, but even here, like, I don't know, actually, I think Supa's going to be there a little bit too quick, but I wasn't sure if he could just slam down on the wave, clear the wave, and then actually look for a plate. He might be able to.
I think he can get a plate.
Yeah, there we go. So, in this position, you're relatively happy as that. And now Razork's here for a dive on top lane.
Myrwn TP's in, immediately runs away. Will be another plate over to Fnatic. Myrwn steps back forward with the wave. You can see Alvaro working his way past the blue buff to get up towards this. Hallowed miss down from Myrwn. Himself a little bit safer while he farms up that wave underneath the tower. There was a plate for Oscar on the bot side, so he's 1,100 gold ahead. Not going straight for the Manamune, instead he's got himself a serrated dart because Razork's gone so deep. Alvaro with a great pop off, lands a stun on 2. Mikyx gonna fall to the tower. Oh my god. I thought it was all over, but Razork had other ideas. Stopped by Myrwn as he tried to spot breaker across the wall. Upset needs a TP from his teammate to try and help him out of this one. Humanoid's going to catch out Jojo. Oscarinin coming in from the side. Elyoya, though, on that front line is going to get knocked out by Oscarinin. Fnatic will extricate themselves from the situation, but they just went so deep for the dive. Jojo was able to get Humanoid from, stop him from recalling at least, and in the end, it is just 1 kill for naught.
But look at the bot side. Supa going to work his way through these turret plates as well. So it's not only the fact that that kill went across, it's now going to bleed over into that nice little lead that Supa's starting to accumulate for himself. And it's off Razork going way too deep on the play. Just not respecting that, one, anyone on MKOI could have been moving towards that top side, and 2, you just couldn't really follow up. Like, upset it to a flash. You just try and get in range to auto attack.
Supa stopped. Has already used the rocket jump. He's going to be hand shook back here. Gravity Well going down as well. He does have the cleanse, but he won't burn it. Arcane Storm takes him down, and Supa falls in bot lane.
That Gravity Well was actually clutch, because if he'd got that extra auto attack onto Mickey, he would have got the jump reset and been able to escape, but just not quite able to get that last tick of damage means that he won't be able to survive. So, bit of a whoopsie from Supa. But it's now just going to be a trade of objectives on each side of the map.
Yeah, a little bit greedy on the plate, a little bit greedy with his back positioning as well. You can save the rocket jump, you can walk underneath the tower. Both of those were options. At least he doesn't burn his summoners when he thought he was pretty much dead, so he will have both of those up for the next fight. Fnatic get their hands on a Chemdrake. The grubs were taken by MKOI, so it's 4-2 in their favor.
Everyone on Fnatic's starting to shift down towards his bottom side. I think they want to try and make a play towards Jojo, as actually Upside going to have to move back now to try and cover that mid play. But yeah, they really want to make something happen.
Jojo doesn't have flash, so I wonder if they're just thinking maybe we can punish this Sylas if he tries to go in onto Humanoid. Does have an okay spot in the 1v1 matchup, at least now with the Catalyst of Aeons complete, so Jojo may look to step in.
I do love how Alvaro is just playing as a second support, though, because you can see it's kind of like where Alvaro is.
Second jungler.
Defensive. What did I say? Second support. Sorry, second jungler.
It's because sometimes there are 2 Neekos. I get you.
But it's kind of like, hey, where Elyoya is the offensive part of the map for MKOI, and Alvaro is just acting as the defensive part of the map, and always kind of playing to where Jojo is, making sure that, hey, he can farm up safely, and if you ever go aggressive, I have Pop Blossom and heal, I can keep defensive part of the map safe. Whereas Elyoya is just trying to see if he can sneak into awkward parts of the map to cover, but now both starting to join on this bottom side as Fnatic setting up for play may give them a bit of a number disadvantage here.
Okay, so a couple of pings immediately go down onto Razork there because the World Atlas proc hit onto him. Mikyx thought the real Alvaro was the closer one, so he stops his recall. All of Fnatic resetting at the same time to be out on the map. Plates about to fall off in 30 seconds time. Supa will have a little bit of time. A smidge, a jiffy with this mid lane tower.
Delightful.
Get the plate. A jiffy is actually a measurement of time. I can't remember what it is, like 1/200th of a second.
Oh.
So if someone says, I'll be there in a jiffy, it means...
They have to, you basically just open the door, they better be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone outside of the UK really says that, but...
No. I mean, we do say it in Ireland as well.
Oh, it's true. UK and Ireland, I should have specified.
Look, I don't want to go Killian Murphy on you.
No, justifiable in my eyes. Justifiable.
But, yeah, I love the classic of, yeah, I'll be there in a jiffy and you're just about to get into the shower.
Oscar here, holding on to his final order attack, letting as many minions die to this tower as possible. Still has that sizable sum of a lead, 1.5k ahead now after taking that first turret. Razork gets the smite and takes away the blue. And Bob Breaker's over to safety. Next objective is 1.5 minutes before we have a rift held. Ooh, Oscar. He's going to get slowed up with the upheaval. Heal coming out as well from Alvaro as they look for the chase, but Oscar is pretty darn fast with Swifties already completed. And yeah,
the slow knock, like the reduction on the slow from the boulder toss coming through from Elyoya, plus then having the accelerated shock or acceleration gate just makes it so much easier to move through. So
yeah. There's a blank space where he once was because of those Swifties.
Wow. I don't know what our crossover is between T-Swift fans and...
Hey, there's Swifties in every avenue of life.
Oh, my bad.
It's like,
look, I'm not trying to annoy anyone or, cause anger. I was just...
It's like BTS fans, right? They're everywhere. Is it BTS? I can't remember the name of the K-pop band,
but okay, yeah. But yeah, I think at this stage we're coming back to the game because I don't know where to go from here.
No, tell me what's going to happen.
What's going to happen is you're going to have Oscarinin move back up towards the top side. They're going to try and make a play over towards the Rift Herald in a couple of seconds because you really want to try and play for that as Fnatic with the push advantage that you have on Oscarinin and try and play through that strength. Whereas when you're looking at MKOI, they really want to try and keep the dragon stacking that they have going. But they are trying to compete here, and I don't know if this is the point, because if you try and compete in the Herald pit, it's very easy for Oscarinin to get value from the Jayce. Constantly being able to play at arm's reach, and also then having the U bundled up in the pit. But here we go. MKOI going to have to try and engage in this bottom half of the fight.
Myrwn has snuck behind Oscarinin here. Elyoya going forward. Oscarinin is going to have to flash away. Elyoya with the slow. Lands the Impale, and Myrwn chases forward with the needlework. Oscarinin is down. Myrwn gets the shutdown, and Fnatic immediately call for the retreat.
All right, Oscarinin got caught. Nicely done by Myrwn to wait in the bush and set up then for Elyoya over the wall. And now Fnatic going to go with the tail tucked between their legs. There's still 15 seconds until Dragon as well, so MKOI finding their moments.
And a good moment it was overall. Mikyx looking for that handshake, only lands it onto the clone. Drake up in 8 seconds time.
And I really like that Jojo has taken the vial to it, because now you've got that engage tool for a potential Dragonflight if you need to. Myrwn moving up towards that top side to push in the wave, has that TP if you want to join. Supa hopping away, got to keep himself safe, but Jojo's still hovering around just over by the Raptor pit.
And Myrwn's up in the top side right now, trying to add another point of pressure. Fnatic, I think, will just get this Dragon anyway. MKOI don't really want to fight so quickly after using their Impale and their Needlework, so they will accept. Second Dragon of the game goes over to Fnatic. About 1,000 gold lead overall for Fnatic off the first 17.5 minutes of this matchup, but we have seen MKOI manage to pick up a couple of things in the last couple of moments. That shut down onto Oscar, and also, of course, the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's the advantage of having the push through Supa is helping them out, at least in this position, because if you can get Supa onto mid tower for already void grubs for yourself, I think you can play very quickly into covering that, but also the fact it's very difficult to lock down Supa as Mickey or anyone really, apart from Razork, that he just gets to play so freely on the wave and opens up for Alvaro to constantly be in these other parts of the map.
Humanoid needs a little bit of support down in this bottom side. Razork walking in immediately. Charges up the Bulk Breaker. They should be able to get this control ward. Mickey takes it. Handshakes again just onto the clone. Fnatic are investing a lot in getting this bot side push. In fact, they're investing a lot in trying to kill a Skarner, but he's damn tanky, and there's the Pop Blossom follow-up. Great Featherstorm from Upset. Lands the root as well onto Alvaro. The Arcane Storm starting to do a little bit of work. Now, Myrwn, the next target, is TPing in behind Fnatic. Hallowed Mist almost taking out Razork there with the needle work, but can't quite get the extra bit of damage.
Fnatic needed that to work because they already had the push from Myrwn on top side. They would have lost the Terror top, and Supa, as you can see now, is on that Terror in the mid lane as well. So Fnatic wanted to hard force, but without getting any kills, it means that they're over investing into that bottom side, and it's just giving that more time for MKOI to pick up advantages through the waves.
It did manage to kill off Alvaro, but as you say, Supa getting a lot of damage done onto that mid lane tier 1. Jojo healthy enough as well to defend against Upset and Mickey on the bot side. So Fnatic, although they have this chunk of change, 2,000 gold ahead, are struggling to really stamp their foot on the gas. They're struggling to really get all of these extra turrets. Not getting the Rift Herald won't help them with that. They can't really open up the map as much as they'd like.
Yeah, and I think it will continue to be a little bit of a struggle for them as now top side.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Oscarinin here. Because Myrwn's here, Alvaro's here, Elyoya's here, and Oscar doesn't have a flash. There's a blast going for him, TP coming out from MKOI, as they invest a lot of resources into making sure this Jayce goes the way of the Dodo.
Yeah, 10 seconds on Adakan, but now Mickey finds Supa.
Oh,
Good
great handshake, but Supa even chasing with the cease and desist. He got the reset on the rocket jump, and there's a blast cone there for him. Does have to burn the flash. Meanwhile, Jojo's on the flank, and Mickey has to flash away himself. Hostile takeover, stolen away. Won't be able to connect onto anyone. We call that one a merger. As Humanoid is being chased out by Myrwn. Hallowed Mist doing a lot of work here. Myrwn dashing forward, though. Humanoid can turn some damage back onto him.
Yeah, no connection on Jojopyun using that hostile takeover. It was a bit of a disaster. You can see Razork and Humanoid just hugging the wall, able to escape. At least MKOI going to be able to put down the Rift Herald mid, should get the mid lane tower on resets, and Jojo also moving up towards the top side means that they'll get at least a little bit of damage onto the top side plate, or towers I should say.
Tower falls in the mid lane. MKOI, the first to take a mid tier 1, get another charge out of the Rift Herald as well, as it is eventually killed off by Fnatic. The gold shrinks to about 1.2k in Fnatic's favor, and you can hear the crowd in loud voice as well. MKOI slowly working their way back into this game, Dagda.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is just losing control of the map and then Adakan being taken away by Fnatic. Like, MKOI are doing a very good job of very quickly collapsing onto Fnatic as they try and play her in the mid wave or like try and play on towards the top side.
It's happening!
There we go, yeah.
Oh, this feels scary for Fnatic, scary for MKOI as well. Myrwn's going to take the bot tier 1.
Yes, no
MKOI aren't going to challenge. As you say, no TP on the Gwen means that MKOI don't want to fight it. They had Impale, they had Pop Blossom, they didn't have Alvaro's flash, but obviously just didn't think they could get in.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a gamble from Fnatic, basically saying, look, Myrwn is on bottom side, he's not going to be able to get here. MKOI more than likely setting up for the Dragon. That's in a couple of seconds time, because Fnatic also, with a third Dragon, would go towards Soul Point. So I think it was Fnatic kind of making an educated guess as to exactly what MKOI or where MKOI were going to be in the map, and it pays off well for them.
I don't know if there was any vision on Fnatic as they did go up towards...
I don't think so either, yeah.
It looked like MKOI was starting to make their way there and then decided against it. So I'd have to rewatch the replay. But as you say, good call from Fnatic. They now have the false life. They can look to break this tier 1 in mid. Elyoya on the flank. No wave there for Fnatic. So as that's cleared out, they won't quite be able to take the turret as of yet. 8 seconds on the Infernal Drake, though.
It is drawing everyone on MKOI towards mid, though, which opens Oscarinin to get bot side turrets. So at least you are still getting something on the map, but they do need to be careful of MKOI suddenly trying to force a play in mid. But with Elyoya on reset and Jojo now moving down to try and catch that wave, it'll be mid tower for Fnatic as well. So 2 towers picked up off the pressure before the strike.
Myrwn has teleport and is looking for that top tier 1. So 2 towers for 1 will be the ending of this exchange, unless Myrwn continues to push forward, which he might has those Infernal Cinders to pick up a little bit more ability. Hasty Impale onto 2, but no real follow-up here for MKOI. Supa and Alvaro were not in position to chase any further in. Razork goes down to a 3rd HP. Meanwhile, Myrwn continues to push in top.
Stop the ports. I mean, if MKOI can try and prevent Fnatic from resetting, you can have the tier 2 gone, and you can also have your cake at the Dragon as well. So this is where it's a little bit of a precarious spot. Fnatic, with Razork going in that bit too deep, are in a weird position.
I think Fnatic just get the Drake. Oscar TPing back because he knows he's already lost the tier 2, but the Dragon is gone. So Myrwn just gets more time on top. He's taken the tier 2 already. He'll just push that out. You can see, though, the goal basically even between the teams now.
Putting Fnatic to sole point is
It's a dangerous game, but Myrwn's ahead in goal.
Yes, Myrwn is ahead of goal, but it's the, hey, we are not willing to fight a lot of these situations is the part that I'm a little worried for. And I think you have opportunities there where, hey, Razork has already used his engage, so if we can just close that distance, we can take the fight. Like Jojopyun, I'm 90% sure, had Razork's ultimate on cooldown, so would have been able to steal it and look for that play. And then you have Alvaro's follow-up, you can look for the Dragon. I think there was ways to fight that. And Myrwn had already taken top tower, so you can immediately TP him in. So this is where it's like, I think MKOI can look for moments to fight. They're just not being able to get them. And now Fnatic on sole point, if they steal it, there's accelerated shock blast and long-range lasers from Humanoid that are going to cause much more damage to health bars of MKOI.
All right, can I just say, it's slightly absurd that Alvaro, if his clone survives until it times out of its animation, can immediately throw out another clone.
Yeah.
Like, that is slightly absurd. That's just Neeko things, apparently. Using that animation well to make sure that it doesn't expire as quickly as it would die.
Yeah,
So,
I think there was conversation ages ago about like not being allowed to use that.
It was a very specific conversation around not being able to control the clone to reposition.
Okay.
There was a very specific conversation, because this always comes up whenever anyone sees Neeko doing that animation. The animation is fine.
Yeah.
It's a very specific interaction that I'm not going to go any further in depth about, so you can't abuse it in solo queue.
Gotcha, okay.
Yep. So, MKOI setting up around the Baron right now. Next Drake 3 minutes away, so we have a little bit of time to play on the top side of the map. Only 200 gold between the two teams. 2 items complete on both the AD carries and both the mid laners. VOD of Ages has fully stacked up for Jojo, so he is level 15 now. Razork sitting at 2 items himself. Now looking for Myrwn, as you say, but he does have a very powerful tool at his disposal, Dagda.
Is it the B button?
It is the B button.
But he stopped being.
Well, it was powerful while he did it.
What a strong individual.
Look, in Dota, you have to buy a scroll to be able to do that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Myrwn decided to stick around and is now going to position himself in that tri-brush to make sure that Fnatic aren't going to try and move in to contest the vision control that MKOI are getting. But it's kind of a bit of a stalemate on both sides, right? It feels like Fnatic don't really feel comfortable looking for, like forcing in towards River or trying to make plays, because Elyoya is very strong at being able to turn around some of those plays from Razork. Same with Alvaro, but you don't really have enough strength now in your side lanes. Like, I don't think Oscarinin wins 1v1 against Myrwn, so your points of contention on the map for Fnatic feel a little difficult to play through, and MKOI are kind of in a bit similar spot where they don't feel comfortable enough to contest on mid position, so it always means that Fnatic are first in the map, so they can't play through the maps on side lanes either.
Makes a lot of sense. Humanoid the only one on Fnatic with a gold lead. I mean, gold's basically even between supports, top laners, and the junglers, but a bit of a chunk of change for Supa. 500 gold ahead in that AD carry spot. It must be sitting on a bit of gold as well. Yuntal Infinity, I guess, is slightly more expensive than Yuntal Navori FLICKR blades, so maybe just a little bit more expensive build path for him overall.
So every time I hear the Neeko helicopter, it sounds like someone with a cat. Like,
there's a universal like cat calling noise that every now and again comes up on TikToks, and it works.
I have seen it.
But whenever I do it, my cats ignore me, and then if I play someone else doing it, the cats run, and like they run to me if it's on TikTok, right? And I'm just like,
Maybe
do you not respect me in my own home?
Maybe just, you know, it's just like an accent thing. Maybe you just.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the English accent. They're German cats. Well, I guess Egyptian because they're sphinxes, right? So I don't know where sphinx cats are originally from.
Okay.
True. 30 seconds before the Infernal Drake. Fnatic wants to play through mid lane to get into that river. MKOI have total control of the river right now. Humanoid just basing. Looks like it's a Void Staff complete into TP. So he is very powerful. Fnatic might give up the Drake in exchange for a Baron. Now, I will say, we've seen this happen in the G2 series.
Yeah, I will say though, like, I think this is a good call from Fnatic. MKOI had a really strong position in that jungle, and I think if Fnatic tried to brute force it, Jojo had a good flank, you had Elyoya in a decent spot, I think it would have been a disaster. Now they pulled them out, and it worked better.
Decent assist onto Elyoya, he's rooted up, but the pop blossom finds 4. Jojo looking for the flank already, the Neeko has fallen. Myrwn going in as well as Razork does have the bailout to try and bring it back to life. Jojo on the back line, Oscarinin, Humanoid running for the hill, Supa coming in as well. So far, 1-for-1 exchange, a double impale! Snip goes Myrwn, a double through the double impale! Jojo chases further, Humanoid forced away, good knockback by Oscarinin as he manages to save his mid laner. But the impale into the shears from Myrwn's enough. Supa jumps out of the Dragon Pit. I think MKOI are going to reset before they go for an objective.
Yeah, you lose track of the impale and it's all over. So here they all in on towards Elyoya with everyone trying to play back, but they don't respect Alvaro being able to come in over the side. And at this stage, as he was rooted, I thought Elyoya used that ultimate. So I think Fnatic were like, okay, cool, a lot of these tools are down, we can start to play up in this fight. But Jojo and Supa are doing a good job of keeping Oscarinin and Humanoid away. And there's the impale that comes through onto Upset, onto Mikyx, keep them tracked down. And Jojo, I did not expect that chain to be as long as it was there. But it only ends up sending him to his death. But it's still a valuable fight for MKOI, plus that dragon to boot.
Yeah, they get the dragon afterwards. No soul for at least 5 minutes for Fnatic. They'll set up towards the top side. They do have great vision control here. Double control ward. It's just showing how good it is for them in that bush. The Fnatic will clear out any awareness MKOI have. Myrwn now has finished the Rabadons. 3 items on that Gwen. MKOI did a really good job of getting him back into the game because he was 1.2k behind. 1.5k behind, in fact, earlier on in this matchup.
MKOI need to find some way, though, of breaking Fnatic's bunker that they have over in this Baron pit, because if you don't draw them out, you don't really get to threaten any of the side lanes, because the second Myrwn shows an aside, you just start Baron as Fnatic, you get the TP, and then you can start to play out the map through that. So MKOI trying to play off this mid wave, and finally you're starting to draw Fnatic out from that point.
That's the thing, by gaining control of the mid wave, Fnatic don't want to lose their mid tier 2. Razork goes in, cease and desist. Immediately they dive onto Supa and the handshake will pull him back. Fnatic have found one. The Movistar KOI AD carry in a shallow grave. MKOI can back away. They can reset and look to fight Fnatic if they do start up the Baron.
Supa needed to buffer the engage with the jump, but wasn't able to do so. And now you're down one of your main damage dealers.
Just the clone, it's just the clone.
But still, MKOI just trying to push in mid, force Fnatic, but they're going to go for the Baron.
Mikyx has the hostile takeover here. It's going to be difficult for Movistar KOI to get in. Elyoya rooted with the handshake. Baron down to 5,000 HP. Myrwn going in as well. The impale hitting with the gravity well into the hostile takeover. Stops the engage from MKOI. Humanoid able to stay out of range as well as the pop blossom. Razork is down, but Fnatic were able to get the Baron. Humanoid and Razork fall. Fnatic get the Baron and walk out.
They will lose 2. But it may also be the mid lane tower that they're going to lose as well. Elyoya looks like he's kind of sticking around here with Jojo, see if he can interrupt, but no, it looks like they will lose the mid lane tower. And now if Fnatic can get back on the map and use Baron, maybe they can get some value, but you can see here, it's the hostile takeover that comes through from Jojopyun, which ends up clipping onto Humanoid as he walks forward after the impale hits, which means that he's kind of stuck here, and just barely ends up falling to the 5th needlework on the back as Baron goes down.
I didn't work out how Razork died. The hostile takeover clipped Upset as well, and Upset just autoed Razork to death. I was like, how did they lose Razork? He got the smite, but then a hostile takeover from Jojo was well positioned. Fnatic turned around to try and help their mid laner, but it cost them one of their lives. Mikyx now has a Mikael's Crucible as well to try and keep someone out of the rage that comes from the hostile takeover, that berserk mode. Next Drake up in 2 minutes. Fnatic have the Baron for another minute 50. They've lost 200 gold off it so far. Remember, that includes the 1.5k they get for taking it. So it's about a 1.7k swing with that mid lane tier 1 going down. Fnatic will try and push through mid, but Supa's in a good enough position to clear out these waves almost as they arrive. Elyoya, Alvaro, Jojo, and Supa, the 4 MKOI players here to defend. And they should be able to. Good buffer out of the handshake there, as Mikyx did get the pullback. Half the tower's health has gone down. Myrwn's pushing through top. Oscar's there to answer. Fnatic moved their way down to bot and should be able to secure at least 1 tower off this push.
You can see there's no real wards for Myrwn to TP to, so any kind of flank position for the Gwen wasn't available. So at least Fnatic getting some value out of the Red Bull Baron power play. You can see, but it's not a huge amount. Like, that tier 2 tower isn't massively valuable for MKOI at this position. Like, it still feels like it's going to be decided at this next dragon in a minute's time. And as you're starting to see, like, the full item completions coming through on, like, Jojopyun, I believe, should have his Zhonya's complete. Actually, must be a little bit shy there, but I think you're still in a position where this is where it gets tough to try and play these fights, as people buy a lot of time with Seeker's Arm Guards and these kind of things. So your combo from Fnatic and try to burst someone out doesn't really work.
Humanoid is really strong though, and if he can have a little bit of time in a fight, that Arcane Storm can do a huge amount of work. Myrwn going in alongside Elyoya, gravity well used by Humanoid, who steps forward for a little bit more damage onto the Skarner. Alvaro chunked out a tad as well. Can be hard to tell exactly what his health is as he transforms into a Razorbeak. Drake up in 16 seconds. MKOI have given up the ghosts on this mid lane tier 2. It will fall. They've tried to gain control towards the river, but they're spotted by a control ward right now. Humanoid does have his flash. MKOI go all the way around. No vision here for Fnatic at all.
MKOI are all in on this dragon. They're completely abandoned mid. If you lose this, you can lose the game. But Jojo trying to get the flank. They're trying to draw Fnatic multiple different ways. They can't just set up behind the hostile takeover.
Alvaro has flash, has Pop Blossom, and is currently cosplaying as a Scorpion. Sends it in. Elyoya on the Drake, down to 3,000. The spike comes out. Elyoya's the one to secure it. Also takeover coming out as well. As the re-engage happens onto Myrwn, but there's the Pop Blossom. Feathers fly and the roots come back. Upset pulls him through too. Jojo goes golden, but he's taken out where he stands. He comes back up. Only Elyoya and Supa left alive. Fnatic win the fight. How much more can they find?
Oscarinin did so much damage with Upset in that fight. Humanoid went down immediately, and I thought that was going to be it. Fnatic may just lose out, but somehow Fnatic are holding on, and now working their way through the base. Supa and Elyoya have to put on the hero shoes to carry this one.
I feel like they should be able to defend it. There's the risk of a flash handshake from Mikyx, but he's already used it. They jump in onto Supa. Oscar knows who the target needs to be. Upset's tanking the turret, though. And I think after that, they'll realize they can't go any further. Good handshake. Oscar dives back forward. Supa almost taking out Oscarinin in there, but there's a chunk from an accelerated shock blast. Would love to see a replay of that last fight around the dragon, but we might not have time. Oh, here we go. I think Upset popping the Featherstorm as the Pop Blossom comes down is the game-changing moment.
Yeah, because this Humanoid gets caught as he tries to move into the pit, gets completely shut down. And then this was where I thought it was it. Alvaro gets up, but as you say, Upset with the ultimate, being able to get away. A ton of feathers go down, pulling through Jojo, pulling through Alvaro, and also then Oscarinin getting a ton of damage in the backline and being able to jump on towards Supa, taking him out of the fight. You can see the reactions there. It looks like it's an MKOI win, but the faces fall soon after.
Real Madrid versus Barcelona today, and that's like someone scores a goal and it's immediately called back for offside. It's like, yeah, oh no. We need VAR in League of Legends. That's how we make it more interesting. As Humanoid's caught Pop Blossom as well. Razork and Upset have to try and get away, but the chase continues. No Featherstorm for Upset, but no life for Elyoya. Hostile takeover, but Mikyx comes in from the side, and Upset kills off the Skarner. 2-for-1 the exchange in MKOI's favor.
They are trying everything here to pick off multiple members of Fnatic. Like, they get the mid-jungle, but Upset being able to survive thanks to the cleanse, thanks to being able to jump away from the Tango Barbs. And it looks like Fnatic still, with just him standing and Oscarinin, have enough in the tank.
Just hold on to it. It feels like MKOI's is a shotgun, right? They are going, and if they land the Pop Blossom and people die, people die. But otherwise, Xayah and Jayce are just doing so much work from range. Myrwn has to be on top of them to take them out. Let's have another look here, because again, it's Humanoid getting caught.
Yeah, and Alvaro does end up getting on towards upset, but watch the Tango Bar. It's a cleanse into immediate up into the air for upset. Means that you don't get that lockdown long enough. And then huge ultimate from Mikyx as well, pulling multiple members of MKOI back, buying space for his backline, and making it very difficult for them to try and play through.
Baron back up as Upset's actually just starting it up. They've snuck around the corner here, avoiding that Scuttlecrabber vision. MKOI, I mean, you have to assume they don't know. Otherwise, maybe they just decided not to contest. Fnatic will get the Baron. Drake up in a minute 50. MKOI are going to play for that mid wave, but Fnatic are grouping up towards the top side.
Yeah, I think you have to reset as MKOI though. You can't really take this base race. Jojopyun's going to try and do it, but I don't know if you can even clear these waves as effectively as you'd like to. Oscarinin can even go back. He's going to have his TP up momentarily just to cover. Actually going to send Humanoid, who has this TP up available now.
Yeah, you have the empowered recalls for Humanoid. Jojo will get an inhibitor tower out of this, so good exchange overall from MKOI. You give up a tier 2 for an inhibitor tower. Your inhibitor is respawning in 2 minutes time. Unfortunately for you, there's an Infernal Soul for either team up in a minute's time.
And this is where it does get tough for MKOI, because you've already lost that Baron. Fnatic just get to continuously shove the waves and make it very uncomfortable for you to try and keep pace on the map. Already, Jojopyun picking up the Zhonya's and immediately TP him out. They want to look for a pick, and Fnatic read it. MKOI trying desperately to keep Fnatic off the map.
Yeah, good read all around by Fnatic. There's the TP as well from Myrwn towards the mid lane. Clone goes forward, Elyoya looking for the Ishtal's impact, can't find a connection. Handshake back, Impale is short, the gravity well down as well. Elyoya is the first to fall, the Arcane Storm begins its work. Myrwn dashing forward onto Mikyx, he's got the bailout. Needles from Myrwn won't find much more. Fnatic taking down the jungler, and there's only 20 seconds on the Soul.
Jojo needs to kind of make a hero play with his ultimate if they want to try and hold out, but 4 versus 5, and we've already seen how difficult these fights are. I just don't know if it's possible.
I mean, I don't think you take it.
Yeah.
It sucks to give up a soul, but if you lose the fight, you lose the game. And I don't think without your jungler, you can really take that smite fight. This Xayah is well and truly scaled into the game. Full build, only lacking the upgraded boots. It's a 7,000 gold lead for Fnatic as they push in with the Baron. 2 waves left of this. Be this +1 most likely, as they have 50 seconds before that buff times out. Hostile takeover. Well, Razork was able to dodge away from it. Thought perhaps he might have dodged into his death, but just about able to escape as Myrwn dashes forward for Mikyx. Needle working to the bailout. Mikyx's down. Hostile takeover doesn't connect onto anyone. Supa gets the kill. Fnatic retreat. The inhibitor line will stand for MKOI.
And that Baron is about to fall off as well, so it's the last that Fnatic will really get out of that. But you can see MKOI not wanting to give this one up yet. Still continue to push forward, but now without a support, I think you're still okay as Fnatic to just bounce these waves, keep them off your turrets, and I don't know if MKOI can really punish Mikyx being down.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds, it felt much more like a stopping Fnatic from doing what they wanted rather than getting a chance to do what we wanted, right? And Alvaro will get a little bit of vision in, pretending to be Skarner as he steps forward. He uses that clone to scout out, puts a control ward down. Razork is on his lonesome, but MKOI have no way of knowing that as he's up towards that top lane. You can see the damage coming out from Oscar has been phenomenal this game, alongside the damage from Humanoid. Jojo, he's had some really good ultimates, but hasn't really, I mean, you're not going to put as much damage as the Viktor as a Sylas, but hasn't had as much chance to impact the game.
It is difficult because it's kind of, as you say, those ultimates that we're looking at Jojo for more. And every time he's thrown out the hostile takeover, it has just been partying the Red Seas for Fnatic. They have refused to be in a position where you can actually get value from it, apart from that one clip where Upset managed to pick off Razork. But you can see, like, if he manages to connect with that, it can completely change the fight. But
Elyoya just missed Impale. Like, it was a mile wide as well. He looked for Razork, couldn't find him. Myrwn's going to be able to skip and slash across this wall. But that is a big ultimate down.
Hey, Jojo hovering off the side, like, I think Fnatic just happy to keep these waves slowly pushing in. They don't. this is weird, because this is a position where I thought, oh, they'd send Oscarinin off to the side and just try and look for a push, try and get all these waves in. But like, they're giving these moments, as you can see now, for Jojo to sidle off to a side lane, put a little bit of pressure, then they have to back away. Same when you look at the fact that Jojo was able to get the mid lane inhibitor turret when it was Fnatic that were pushing onto the map. So I don't think Fnatic have been as clean in keeping pressure on these side lanes. And Jojo now stepping up, but just going to keep these waves shoved in so Fnatic have to respond.
And Jojo also, he's so far behind in gold, but getting these extra waves just gets him back into the game a little bit more, right? Supa's done a really good job of farming this game. Like 450 CS, 43 minutes into the matchup is pretty good overall. It has been funneled a little bit. You can see Myrwn suffering a bit towards that top side, but Myrwn was gifted a lot of tower gold and plate gold earlier on in the game. So he's almost at full build. Supa, he must be close. Like, he's recalling right now, has a Doran's Blade. Is he going to sell that? And buy, Guardian Angel. Makes a lot of sense. 40 seconds on the Baron. What feels like a fight that will decide the game.
Well, Fnatic have good positioning here. They can look for to just poke down as MKOI are moving into position. MKOI don't really have a moment to aggress on the wave because you can see Fnatic now moving across. And again, this soul for Fnatic going to do a ton of work for them in this position as well.
It definitely is. There's a very small argument that MKOI could accept they're not going to get the Baron and just set up to fight around the Elder in 2 minutes' time. It's a risk. Like, a Baron gives you so much pushing power that it would be very hard to do, but Elder is the game ender. If you can hold against the Baron, and you can with someone as fed as this Tristana, or as strong as this Tristana, you can just delay the game a little bit more. Oscar snipped by Myrwn, clipping at his heels. Jojo with a great flank. Oh, hostile takeover. Onto upset, but he cleanses and feather storms immediately. He has enough tools to get himself out of that one.
This though means that if Jojo can hang on until he can get ultimate available again, can take Razork's ultimate and just look for upset. That is all the safety tools apart from flash down. But MKOI immediately start on towards the bar.
TP coming out as well from Jojo. He looks to join up with his team. Fnatic stepping forward. Look where Myrwn is. He's down towards the bottom side near that blue. MKOI will get the Baron. Both teams apprehensive about making a big play. MKOI find a good flank with Jojo, and as soon as Upset doesn't have that ultimate, Fnatic like, okay, we'll give you that one, we'll let you land that punch, but we'll see what the judges decide at the end of 10 rounds.
Well, the clone being very valuable here and being able to face check so many of these brushes for MKOI and making it really difficult for Fnatic to hold on to these positions. Stepping forward once more.
Elder, 45 seconds away. Who cares about a side lane? They don't exist anymore. Everyone is grouped up around mid. Jojo looking for that flank once again. MKOI still have to push. Oscar has to step forward a little bit to clear out that cannon.
Upset's ultimate is so close to coming back up. It looks like MKOI won't be able to try and play for it here. Even Jojo had stolen the Jayce ultimate, now going to change it back.
And the issue for Fnatic now is they don't have access to this wave. MKOI are doing a really good job of gating them off as Jojo goes into Oscarinin, who has to flash away. Buster shot used as well. Jojo falls low. Razork takes him. Oscarinin survives through the explosive charge. Humanoid chase down towards the bottom side. Oscarinin is so low, but doesn't have teleport to rejoin this fight. MKOI could play a 4v4 if they take it immediately.
Humanoid was spotted though, and I think Elyoya and Supa want to try and make a play on him. Mikyx, good handshake to keep them at bay. Still, I don't know if you can fully commit to this. Oscarinin is tearing out of the base as fast as the legs can carry him.
Razork no flash, Oscar no flash. On the other side, flashes abound for MKOI. Razork is met with a clone. He's at half HP. Myrwn looking for a flank position, has a blast cone here as well. Oscar's going to take the long way around. Supa still has that Guardian Angel on his shoulders. Razork looking for the Elder Dragon. Myrwn going forward. It's Supa who gets the Elder. Is it Supa for MKOI? The needle's just short of Humanoids. Fnatic looks to try and turn this play around, but MKOI get the Elder, and they're pinging towards the inhibitors. They're not going to be able to go for it. It's in fact Fnatic who want to defend.
Yeah, it's looking like MKOI were just trying to use the last little bit of this bar to see if they can get on towards mid, but Jojo up in 5 seconds has no TP, so MKOI kind of on their own, and this is a risky bush to be in when the rest of your team are back in base.
Will someone take the bait? They won't. Accelerated shot blast to check. Elder for 2 minutes. Only one wave left of Baron. I don't think MKOI are going to be able to use the double buff advantage they get
Every bush is being checked by Oscarinin, though. Nobody wants to face check into MKOI, so they're going to establish themselves on this top side. They want to look for the inhibitor turrets. Fnatic desperately need to clear the wave. 15 seconds on the Red Bull Baron power play left.
Upset sold his boots. Has a Guardian Angel of his own now. You don't need boots if you're just defending your base. Who needs the movement speed? Who needs the attack speed? MKOI stepping forward. A minute left on the Elder. Baron expires, but so does the inhibitor tower. So will the inhibitor as MKOI crack through the base of Fnatic. Jojo doing work as well as he moves towards the mid lane in here. That's 2 inhibitors for MKOI. Elyoya being chased away a little bit. MKOI don't have a wave in bot lane. Fnatic can just clear top and mid for the next little while. They can actually hold on until the Elder buff times out.
I think that wave in bot side is going to start to push out, though, and eventually meet onto the Fnatic side of the map. So Jojo starting to move down, wants to try and collect it, has the TP to join it if they want, but everyone in MKOI resetting gives Fnatic a time to push these waves off of their base, but it's still 2 minutes until a major objective, and MKOI can just look to play the wave states.
What a series, not a game, man. Like, this has been absolutely sublime. It has been so much fun to get to watch these series. You can hear the crowd having so much fun as well in Madrid. So many thanks to MKOI for hosting this and to all the fans who have shown up. It has been a truly wonderful experience so far. The question is, will it end in elation or will it end in a eulogy for MKOI? They fought back so well in this game, but they have not closed it out yet. 3.5 minutes on both the inhibitors. A minute 30 on the Baron. 3 minutes before the Elder is back up. Jojo is still at 3 items. It's going to be 4 when he backs here.
It has to be. He's been sitting on that for so long. But I don't know basically how, with Fnatic in their base, the plays that MKOI have been making to get themselves into a good position aren't really there anymore.
Yeah,
like,
there's no flank hostile.
Yeah, exactly,
oh, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say Mickey's ult, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So I think that's where it's like, how do you have to try and draw Fnatic out, which Baron will help do in just a minute's time, but it's going to be a case of trying to play for picks, I feel like, in this jungle, and hoping you're not going to take too much damage from Oscarinin as he starts to move in, or anyone else. You don't really have access to the ultimates beforehand, though, which makes things a little bit difficult for Jojo.
It makes it a bit of a sticky wicket for Jojo, who has found purchase in this game, although his scoreline and his items don't reflect that as much. He has had some really good moments. See the waves not in the easiest spots, very quickly cleared out. Remember, Infernal Soul for Fnatic, so it's just helping them get through these super minions.
It's this control ward that they were trying to play around and using Jojopyun on a flank, so now he's falling back further, and they basically know Fnatic don't really have vision of what he's up to. And even like the pink ward, actually I was about to say that was in his inventory but just got placed, is basically just what they're trying to play for.
Myrwn uses the stopwatch. Razork was looking for him. Jojo's still on that flank position, but Fnatic do have a wave here with them. MKOI, they played around the Baron. Jojo here to stop Fnatic for now. Steals away the hostile takeover. Will pocket, but no one from Fnatic's going to get caught by it. Myrwn jumps in and immediately assassinates Humanoid. The pop blossom as well. Onto Razork, counter hostile takeover. Myrwn falling lower as Upset begins to open up. Myrwn's down, Supa dives forward, and Upset dies. Brought back by the GA. Supa trying to survive. That's Guardian Angel of his own. Upset's about to respawn as Fnatic. It's Oscar, Upset, and Mikyx still alive, but there are super minions beginning to walk into their base.
They want to just TP in. They want to just look for the end, but it's still Supa is so healthy. I know Elyoya is here. Yeah, they need to protect their base. They need to protect the Baron. They need to do so much, and there's so little that they can do.
Oscar goes back and will clear out the super minions. A minute for both the Fnatic's inhibitors to respawn. The risk for Fnatic is if they all reset, they lose the Baron to Supa and Elyoya, who can just two-man it. TP is available to Myrwn and Jojo. Mickey puts the control ward down. MKOI start up the Baron.
Mickey's ultimate is just about to come back up. Fnatic need to buy time. That could be the crucial one. The TP to the mid wave. Oscarinin wants to just look for the end as Fnatic play keep away.
Alvaro's up in 10 seconds time. Upset. Trying to do what he can here. The handshake back. There's a hostile takeover onto Supa, but it doesn't really matter because Elyoya is tanky enough. Supa still has the Guardian Angel as Upset goes in. The Impale stops him. The bailout not enough. Supa will get the shutdown, and meanwhile in the base, Oscarinin is met by a pop blossom. TP's coming in as well by Humanoid. Renata looking for the win. It's all on Humanoid. Humanoid is dead. MKOI, magnificence, majesty in Madrid. MKOI, hold on.
And now it's MKOI who are in the base of Fnatic. It is Razork who has to try and hold, but there is nothing left. MKOI have done it.
You'll take the win out of their cold, dead hands. MKOI never give up. The inhibitor respawns. It doesn't matter. They'll still win. They can walk back. They can take the inhibs. MKOI win at home.
What a game! What a way to end the first day of a road trip! My God!